What's up, guys? It's Dan. I apologize for my absence, and I will be posting an update video to kind of explain. Um, but I kind of get the hint that you guys want to see a little more Darkest Dungeon, despite the fact that it's been released a long, long time ago, and that's really what you come to the channel for. So, um, for all your patience, I think that's what I'm gonna do is start a new series of Let's Plays. But let me know in the comments what you guys do want to see. I'm gonna post a few polls, and after I post the update video, you'll get an idea of my absence, and most of it was medically related, but um, you'll be able to see that there. But let me know in the polls what you guys do want to see as far as more content. I've got a lot more time to post for the next couple months, so I will be loading you up on some stuff, I promise, and check out the Twitch channel for sure. So what I decided to do since I've been gone so long is, and this is why probably the vast majority of you come to the channel, is to post a video with a new campaign with all the content, as you can see there, are going to be there. It's going to be loaded in, and we're just going to start from the beginning. A lot of you have asked for update videos on some of the guides and the classes, and I think this is actually a little bit better of a way to do that, is just for me to go in and start over pretty much right from the beginning. And we'll probably take it week by week because otherwise the segments will be super long. But let's get started. I've talked enough. So moving into what we're going to do is we're just going to start. Uh, I would say probably just going to start normal, because primarily that's what most of the newer players are going to do. This is the Radiant difficulty level is more really for beginners, so we'll just start on normal. Some of the stuff that happens in Blood Moon isn't necessarily uh, relevant to a newer player. You're probably not going to start on that level. So anyway, we're going to start here. I'll just name this Damn YouTube 19 guide. All right. So we're going to skip the cutscenes where applicable and just get right to the content, because that's really what you guys are here for. So this is obviously the entry level. The tools that I'm using is actually the old Darkest Dungeon strategy guide that I created a long time ago. I think the last edit on it is even 2017, but the vast majority of it is still relevant. So that's really all I'll be using, is probably just a guide that shows me what I want to take as far as provisions, just to get that fresh in my mind. But I will be skipping all the tutorial stuff just to speed up the gameplay. So, get our bearings.
Brigands have run up these lanes. Keep to the side path.
I think I can disable that. Oh, I thought I could. There we go. Don't need it. Good enough.
Dispatch this thug in brutal fashion, that all may hear of your arrival.
Oh, he resisted the stun. Wouldn't have expected that. So the thought process there with me going for the stun was that I felt the stun with the triggered bleed would give me the ability to actually skip his turn completely. So that's why I threw it in there. And as we go through here, I won't explain absolutely everything that I'm going to do, because it would take it would make the video significantly longer. But most of you are fairly familiar with the game and kind of what's going on now. So try and follow along with the actions, and in the comments, if you want me to add that to the gameplay, I absolutely can. But primarily, I'm doing it really to skip through and go a little quicker than what it would be otherwise. Nobody's marked. Grape Shot Blast would hit 2 targets, but it wouldn't necessarily mean that it would be that well. Would do that well, rather. I think I'm gonna bleed. That's right. He's size 2, rather. So our objective should really be to eliminate the back first, because he's gonna do more damage. And that pretty much that principle applies throughout the whole game. I mean, most of you guys know that by now. We don't have any way to move back and hit him. And he's a 50-50 shot at stun resistance. So realistically, none of these are unholy. You could roll the dice with a stun, which would be okay. Here, if we mark ourselves, it's more than likely that we're going to take the damage, and we're going to get a slight benefit from that. But I think our best bet is really just a DPS, truthfully. We're still going to do some DPS here, and we'll get a chance at a stun that we can eliminate that turn, so I'll start there. Stun isn't as overpowered as it used to be, but it's still significantly strong. Well, it's pretty strong. It's not always the best move to do, so I don't want you guys to think that, as slowing down the fights is often a really, really bad idea. But when you can get a turn advantage or have a character advantage, it's typically one of the better moves that you can do. And almost always when you fight a monster that's size 2, like this guy is, if he has a high HP pool, you're not always, but almost always dotting him, like getting him a bleed or poison. Anything you can do to get that HP pool down and slow him down. Sometimes it's a stun, sometimes it's just stacking more dots, moving him out of position. Any of those things typically help when you're dealing with the bigger characters. Now here, we know he's pretty much going to die, so what do you want to do? Typically in this situation, you would want to heal. I don't have a heal, I do have a buff, because you know he's probably going to die from that blood loss that he has there, so he takes 4 health, and he had 2 left. So yeah, so typically in those situations, the bleeds on higher HP mobs, and sometimes AoE that has a bleed in it on a lower HP total of a mob, you know, they're about to die, are always the best routes to go if you think you can get an extra heal or an extra turn out of it. So we got a trap, so we have blight, and we have bleed, but really no big deal because we're done with our quest anyway. So we're going to head back. Back to the Hamlet. So let's see, what do we end up with? Early Riser, which is great for us because primarily we're going to stack torches, and this really won't affect us. With Renault, Resilient, which is, that's good to get early on. Eventually you're going to replace almost all of those anyway to get the meta. So
Welcome home, such as it is.
Alright, so we're back at our house.
These corrupted lands.
There is an achievement to get these 2 guys all the way to the end, to the darkest dungeon. So it is worth trying to prioritize protecting them when that's possible. Sometimes it's not possible, but if you're on your first run, you're probably not going to worry about it too much.
Women and men, soldiers and
Alright, so we're going to empty out the stagecoach, and this is going to be our first priority for upgrading things. Because this gives you more options to have a bigger roster, and it also gives you the option to have more characters that can come work for you. And that's the way you want to look at this. If you're a new player and you're just starting, these are your employees, not your friends. They are expendable. These are people that you're going to have to make decisions. Sometimes it's for the best of the business that they don't come back. And that's why you typically recommend don't rename them to whatever you want. Don't name them after your friends until you get them to level 6 or your followers or whoever on Twitch is watching you, that kind of thing. So anyway, increases the number of available heroes is the first one we're going to do because we don't have to worry about the roster size being a factor. I believe after we get to Stagecoach Network 3 is really when we want to bump this up a couple. Alright, so we don't have enough of the deeds. We only have 7 and we need 8, so we can't do anything there. This is something we could do right now just because we have the deeds, but it's going to slow up the amount of heroes that will be available longer term. So that's why I'm not touching it. It won't be as much of a factor until you really get into week 3. So that's the first thing we're going to do. We don't need to worry about the fallen heroes or the memoirs. These are just really where the cutscenes are. You don't really have to worry about that. The Nomad Wagon is something you do want to check pretty much every week, but very often it's not going to be a factor. There's rarely stuff that's really, really good here. You're primarily going to find it, at least in almost all my playthroughs. You're rarely going to find anything really, really good here versus just being out in the world. And then obviously these are for the farmstead. We won't be concerned with this until probably much later on. So, we did what we needed to do. Nobody really needs to heal. So we're ready to go right on our first venture. So you don't have a lot of options early on, but what I do want to say is the typically the best, most flexible dungeons to run are the ones that are going to be medium length. This is short, so it's a little less forgiving. Short tends to be more difficult than long, actually, because you don't get a campfire to rest in. So medium is typically the best one to do, especially for newer players. But overall, just dungeon grinding. You're looking for, any of the heirlooms. You're looking for, uh, let's say trinkets. You're farming some trinkets. You just want to get some people some XP. Medium. Scout dungeons are pretty much the ones that you want to do, or maybe search 90% of the rooms. I guess that is scout, but 90% of the rooms, or maybe sometimes the monster ones are okay. It just depends on the party you're going to bring. But overall, medium explorer is typically the best one to do in my opinion. And then also what I'd recommend is bring somebody who can scout, and it makes your life 90% easier. So according to the spreadsheet, if I pull up my spreadsheet here, since we're running a short dungeon, we want 12 food. We want 8 torches. And this is a lot, guys. This is going to be overly cautious, I guess I would say. But the reason that we're doing that is primarily because we want to be able to play it safe. This whole game is about playing safe. Otherwise, the RNG is going to come back and bite you. So since we're going to the ruins on a short dungeon, I would typically take an additional torch, 2 herbs, 1 bandage, no anti-venom, but I will bring 1 key. And it's available on the spreadsheet. If you guys want it, just tell me in the comments and I'll post it. I actually can probably just throw it in the description for you. But it's old and dated, and I typically don't post it because people are like, oh, you're not even updating this. I just don't have time, and again, that'll come in the update video that I post. So anyway, here we go. People do occasionally still ask for the spreadsheet. I mean, it's out there, you can find it, but it's just really, really dated. I used to have some people who helped me with it, so they would do the data entry and I'd give them the information, but I don't have that anymore, so I don't keep it updated. But if you guys are interested and you want to help, please by all means reach out to me, and I'll be happy to let you help. Take the torch. Okay, so obviously this is real early in the dungeon. It's very basic. There's only 2 mobs, so we want to just eliminate turns as quickly as possible. When in doubt, when somebody can hit rank 2, hit rank 2, as long as you know the rest of your party can finish that person off. If you're not sure, then hit rank 1. In this situation, he's probably on the edge of being able to be killed and still doing damage, so I'm going to roll the dice. Okay, so we did enough damage to kill him, and we still did damage to the front row, which is ideally the way you want to use the AoE. Eliminate the enemy turn, and then still do contributing damage to the other monsters that are left. So this move's pretty easy. It does additional damage to Unholy, so that's why the Crusader is pretty good in the ruins. So we're going to do that. So we finish him off. Now, early on in the game, I'm pretty much opening every chest. The reason is because we're gonna dig to try and get our money up as quickly as possible, and then also we need the heirlooms in order to upgrade not only excuse me, not only like the stagecoach, like we were talking about, but all the aspects of your estate. And then as well, you want to be able to work towards getting your districts done. So in this situation, we are primarily going to focus on the stress person here. This person is going to damage our stress. So in knowing that she is the first target priority, you have to either stun or damage her as quickly as possible. And you're going to take the physical damage because you can heal that. But we can't really heal stress as effectively as you can damage. So we're going to prioritize her. Now that is done, same thing. We're going to eliminate the second row and leave the first row. Although he can crit pretty hard with that sword at times, it's still the right move is to get rid of the second row.
Give them no quarter.
And same thing, he has 7 or 10 HP, and we're going to hit him with Smite because he's unholy. So unfortunately, they're still going to get a turn. And that slash can hit pretty hard, relatively speaking. But good to go. We'll just finish him off, and then we'll move on. So we got 2 busts there. And if you ever have to prioritize early game on what you're taking and what you're leaving, you're typically prioritizing the heirlooms. Even over gold very early on, I would say. Right. So I am gonna actually leave, I think, this room. We'll see. I'm gonna hope I get a scout check. I may get one. And then we'll be able to pick and choose which room we want. Okay, same situation here. We're gonna prioritize her. Yeah, the jukes. Not good. Even if we have to AoE, she's the right target. And that's why. Because early on, her stress damage it hurts. So now we know that Blight is going to finish her off, so we can ignore her right now. But we are going to need to heal him next turn. I typically start to heal almost, I would say anywhere between, right around 60% is when I'd start to heal somebody. So I picked AoE there, not necessarily to finish her off, but to finish him off and still do damage here, so that he wouldn't get an additional turn. And that's why I start about 50%, because you typically have to wait a pretty significant amount of time in order to get back to the ability to heal. So it's better safe than sorry. I'm going to actually mark myself here just to be safe so that he doesn't take the damage, especially knowing he has a bleed. And I'm going to extend the length of the fight a little bit longer than what I typically would, just to try and get his health up. He doesn't have a self-defensive buff, so I really don't want to eliminate him if I can help it. I know that's kind of counterintuitive, but I want to be able to get him another heal if possible. Unfortunately, I don't have a great fit for that. So we're just going to hit tracking shot. I can't even, I guess I have to hit the corpse. And again, this is just to be able to really get another heal in so that we aren't working from behind. I'm going to give her the speed boost, so hopefully she'll be able to heal before he gets another turn. That didn't work. Okay. Whew. Surprised we didn't get punished for that, actually. Alright, now we can finish him off. We didn't want him to be working that far behind, and I didn't want to take the food this early in the dungeon. But towards the end of the dungeon, we will... we would be able to use it a little more aggressively. Alright. So again, we're going to use him to open it. It is trapped, which, again, you figure you're going to run into some of these, but the risk is worth it. So we did get our scout check. We know this is empty, so that's the easiest one. And then we have a trap coming up. And the only reason I had her disarm the trap is because I didn't want him to take any more damage, because I would typically use the highwayman there. Alright, so we didn't get the scout check, so we're going to go here and here and finish it off. Alright, so now we have a ton of food, so we're going to eat. That's a little too much, even, to carry around. Alright. There we go. Okay, we got lucky in that this doesn't have anything in it. So since we're getting close to the end, we still have 4 torches. We'll just spam them. Luckily, we brought 2 shovels. Okay, so this is the guy that's going to be our primary target. We got surprised even though we had full light, which is a little weird. So same thing. We're going to prioritize him and try and get him out as quickly as possible. Then we're going to go here because he does significant amount of damage for these low levels. The reason we're prioritizing stress over damage here, even though it's fairly late, is because we still want to have that flexibility to run these guys back to back because it's so early on in the game. Even later in the game, you're typically going to prioritize, you're still going to prioritize stress, but for different reasons. But there are times where your HP isn't good and you got to get rid of that damage guy first. Trying to think the best way to get him forward. For now, it's probably best to leave it sit, and he'll have to move up on his own. And then I think he can leapfrog. Oh, no, he doesn't have leapfrog right now. I could have switched that out, but I didn't figure ruins would be that difficult right away. Alright, so we know we're going to kill him. So we're going to hit Grape Shot Blast. That's, again, just to eliminate the turn. He's still our primary target, but we can't really get back there yet. Because we got shuffled. So, same thing. We're going to move him forward. Oh, that was bad. Bad miss. She doesn't need to heal. He could probably go another one because they're not going to bleed him. Nice. I'm going to buff him just because he can hit the back row. Okay, that's actually a good thing. Damn it, that wasn't good. And the stun to boot. Can't go far enough. Just DPS, even though that's not a great plan either way. You know he's not going to be able to bleed, so... those 3 dodges are pretty unfortunate. Hence why I was trying to say that we really need to prioritize getting rid of that guy. He's done a lot of damage to us. I think it's probably best if I move back here. Even though we aren't doing damage. We're lucky we haven't been crit yet. Hope for a stun here, just so they don't have another attack. Here we go. Oh, that's... The Grape Shot Blast would have been the play there had he rolled high enough, but he typically doesn't. So now we're just going to DPS down, and then we'll be through this. So it wasn't pretty, but it's primarily because we started shuffled. It made it more difficult. Okay, so here we need to make a decision on what to carry back. Excuse me. Get rid of the food. Just to take that. We're done. But, I mean, we do have 2 keys. We picked up an extra key, so we can pop a key in here. Which is actually, that was really good. So we got, now what do we leave? Probably the bandage. There we go. Alright, we're done. And no, I typically do not explore the dungeon once I'm through it. I usually do not do that. And it's... I mean, there's a couple reasons for it, but the primary reason is just, you guys know if you've played the game, the RNG in the game will punish you. The more you give it opportunities to. So... Actually, it looks like there's actually 8 people using the spreadsheet right now. Which is crazy. Alright. What did we get? Egomania and Nocturnal. That's not good. Nocturnal isn't good because we're always running torches, because again, it's just the safer way to play. Okay, so then again, we go right to the stagecoach and we're going to take everybody. So once you get through your first dungeon, you kind of want to prioritize taking a look at healing skills. And, you know, Divine Comfort's one that's really important to grab. And I think that's something that right away would be a definite benefit for us. So I'm going to grab Divine Comfort as soon as I can. So as we look through here, you can get the Blacksmith and the Guild once you complete more quests. They aren't even letting you do it. So as soon as that comes open, that's one of the first things I'm going to do. Because we have to prioritize the healing spells and having a healer as often as we possibly can. So, so with that, as we look at our overall roster of characters and what we have somebody that probably at this point you probably don't want to run them through another dungeon, and we have the Jester that could replace it, or even another Highwayman. So we're gonna find.
The cobwebs have been dusted, the pews set straight.
Let's see, we have 9,000. That's 1,000.
Fresh kegs, cards, and curtained rooms.
1,000.
Solace to the weary and broken alike.
They're gonna get a little bit of stress relief just by sitting on the bench, but we'll go ahead and pay for her to relax. Because she's significantly higher than where we want it to be. All right, so then looking back at the stagecoach, same thing like I said last time, we're going to increase the number of heroes available to 4. So we're at 7 of 10. So if we were to keep everybody next week that shows up, we're going to run out of space. So the hero barracks has got to be the next thing we do, and then we'll go up stagecoach again. So we're probably going to do 2 levels of hero barracks at that point. Now, normally, when I'm in the stagecoach, here's kind of what I'm looking at, guys. This is how I know if I want to make room for somebody. I'm looking at their quirks. And again, on the spreadsheet, you can see some of the best quirks for everybody. But quick reflexes is great. Early riser is also great. Like on a Highwayman, probably a grave robber would be really good. On healers, they're really important because it allows you to heal, especially if you have a Vestal that's able to drop a judgment right away, because she's obviously not going to heal first. Also, you're looking at their combat skills early on, but later money isn't going to be a factor, so you can just train it almost instantly. So Then we look at our Vestal. The Vestal doesn't have Divine Comfort, which is unfortunate because that one's super strong early in the game. Unerring's okay because most of what she does is ranged when it comes to the gas spells that she has. And let's see. Unyielding it's okay, but there are other things in as far as like just doing damage that would be better here. Although having death blow resistance is never a bad thing. Fast healer's okay, really not that great. Same thing, fast healer. So we don't have any like meta ones outside of this. This steady is probably the best thing we have. Especially as you get later in the game, taking less stress is absolutely really important, and managing the stress becomes the hardest part of the game. So that's really good. So since we've got our party, we'll check out the Nomad Wagon. Neither one of these are really that good. We couldn't afford them anyway. We don't have the Sanitarium yet. So let's look back through and see who we want to bring. When in doubt, if you can leave somebody, that's a good thing. If you can leave somebody that has stress. So we're going to leave probably him. Let's replace him with the other guy. I could go... What do you have? You have Smite, so we could, since we're going to be in the ruins, we could do that because he's... having Smite would be useful, and he actually has Battle Heal also, which isn't bad. What do you have? Harvest... Slice off. So harvest and slice off, excuse me, aren't great, and that is primarily because we're in the ruins. So we know we're going to be in the ruins. It's not going to work nearly as good as it would in other places. So we're going to ignore him and take the Crusader. So we have the farmstead up. We're not going to do that. Actually, I think we picked up a trinket last time. Yeah. 20 move resist plus -1 speed. That's not very good. Explore the rooms. What do you have? +1 speed. Speed +4 dodge. It's only a bounty hunter though. That's actually pretty good early on. +5 accuracy melee skills. That's not terrible. See, that's pretty good. The survival guide is one of the most underrated trinkets in the game. Although having this early on with the Jester and running through some of these other areas would be good. But we're gonna pick the survival guide. Like I was saying, the scouting chance is really, really, really important. So we don't have any trinkets. We really don't have anything else we want to upgrade. So we will move forward with this. Alright, so back to the spreadsheet. So 12 food, 8 torches. Since we're on a short mission. 2 shovels. 1 herbs. 2 holy water. 1 bandage. No antivenom and 1 key. I'm not bringing any laudanum. I'm really not bringing that because we don't have any mobs that I really need to be too worried about at this level. Later on, I do typically bring 1 just to have. And if you guys notice, I usually don't use bandages or herbs or anything unless it's pretty critical. Otherwise, I let them ride it out. All right. Go on our second one. Okay, so in this one we have to complete 100% of room battles. So we like to have a flow that's linear. This one isn't at all. So what I'm going to do is move up here and then back down and then across. None of this is ideal though. Yeah, none of it's ideal. I mean, there isn't a great way to do this. Oh.
Watch your step.
Got trapped already. Hence why the scouting chance is so imperative. And I will have to be a little lighter on my torches this time. Mainly because we're going to have to backtrack so much. Oh, at least we got a surprise out of this. So we don't have a lot of back damage. So unfortunately, we're going to be doing a lot of 2 and 3s here, and not necessarily 4. And that's simply because we don't have the right party. And early on, you may not. Where it's possible, you do still want to prioritize the back rows, though.
The flesh is knit. Begone, fiend.
I was hoping we crit and we wouldn't get a corpse, but since we did, nobody's moving up. All right, so here we're gonna stun, and unfortunately, we're just gonna have to take the stress damage. It's probably gonna be stacked on the highwayman though. Yeah. At least we avoided that. Oh, there we go. I actually am going to mark one of these Crusaders to try and avoid that, because I don't think we're going to be able to eliminate them all the way. So, oh, that was miserable. Yeah. Oh. And early on, these are definitely the struggles that you'll come across. Tempting Goblet's going to be more likely to hit him, so I'm going to mark that guy. Same thing. Stun when I can stun. Even though we're not doing a ton of damage to him. But I am going to mark him.
As the light gains purchase, spirits are lifted.
That didn't help.
And purpose
Yeah, he's already going to be... Yep. Getting his resolve tested.
reeling, gasping, taken over the edge into madness.
And since we don't have a camp, there's no way really of managing this and bringing it down, so...
Continue the onslaught. Destroy.
This is part of why, obviously, I mean, you guys would know why party composition is so important. Because if you have the right party, this would have been easy clap. You wouldn't have even had to worry about it. But because we don't have the right composition for here, we're going to struggle quite a bit. Who do I have that does move tricks? Anybody? You do. Just to get that out of the inventory. Find somebody low stress. Go ahead and open it. All right. We did get a scout check, which is good. Oh, that was a really good one. Okay, so we know we can eliminate going up here, but because there's treasure, and that's important right now, we're going to grab those two, and then we're going to backtrack. Oh, good. He stole it. Great. I didn't think he had klepto. Oh, he does. Okay. All right.
Gold, trinkets, and baubles. Paid for with blood.
So we're going to walk back. And then move right, and we know which way we have to go. So that scout check was really, really clutch. If you'll notice, I'll let this get a little darker this time because we're walking to a curio, and I know I'm going to be able to interact with it. And then our loot table is going to be increased just a little bit, hopefully, by the time we get there. Oh, maybe not. Oh, good. Oh my god. I was gonna send somebody in there with a holy water, but I guess we're not doing that. All right.
The promise of safety.
Okay, so this one shouldn't be too bad. The slice and dice does hit, but oh, okay, good. Just like I was saying. Give the game a chance to shit on you, and it will.
War can be healed, but never hidden.
Oh my. My. That was really bad. I don't think anybody hit, did they? Oh, one. One did. But we do need to heal him. Especially now with the bleed. So this is the time where I would take the bandage. There we go.
Formation is broken. Maintain the offensive.
Since we know he's stunned. A crit would have been great there. We're going to have to spam heals on him the next few rounds. Just eliminate him.
Give them no quarter.
There we go. That's great. That's great. And then we'll just finish him off.
Confidence surges as the enemy crumbles.
Okay, don't touch the books. There's no reason to ever really touch the books. Okay. We're okay. I was gonna heal, but I think we're okay.
In Radiance, may we find victory.
Since our stress level is really high, this is gonna be difficult. I mean, almost everybody's over 40 stress, so... Last row. Reason I'm picking row 4 over row 3 when you only have 2 people able to attack is primarily influenced by the corpse being left behind. If I can help it, I don't want to leave a corpse here when this could be moved up. So, I was hoping that would eliminate him. That's okay. There we go. Alright, so now we are going to need to heal him. He's right down about 40 to 50%. So, fortunately, it'll be up to the highwaymen to crit here. Oh, he marked himself. Good. Just kill him. It's a better accuracy base. Okay. We got better than I expected, truthfully. More deeds. The leper amulet doesn't help us right now, though. Alright. Let's move. Again, we really wish we had a scout check, but why everybody's going to get pushed to the limit. It's actually pretty lucky. There we go. Oops. Make sure I have this right. That's what I thought. Okay. I don't know why that didn't... Okay. Never mind. Sorry, guys. I didn't have that on my spreadsheet. Now I was trying to find my way back to spreadsheet with the provisions. So bear with me. Here we go. Okay. Alright, so our last guy's in this room right here. Don't touch the books. Oh, please don't touch the books. Ugh. That's why you don't want to touch the books. And I don't think the Iron Maiden's worth bothering with. I think it's when you get a little bit of loot, guess we could do her. Not really worth that much. Yeah. Typically that loot table isn't worth. Okay, since we have food left, we're gonna spam the food. Because we know we're not gonna get a hunger check. This over. Okay. Oh, that'll help a little bit. Oh, good, again? Great. Okay, I guess he's gonna do whatever he wants. That's fine if he's gonna crit, I guess. I don't have any bandages to deal with the bleed, remember, because we had to use the last one. So what do we do here? She's the only one that can hit back. But he needs to move. She's probably gonna miss. So unfortunately he's gonna have to pass till he gets up front. So not ideal. You never want to pass if you can help it. I don't think I can knock him back though. Yeah, his move resist is too high. So because we're out of position, I'm really just working on eliminating an enemy turn, but unfortunately it's the biggest dude here. So I'll move him up. And then on his turn he'll move him up and get him back into position. Or since he's faster. No, it didn't work that way. Ugh. Okay, at this point, she actually kind of needs a heal, but so does he. Okay, good. He just rejected the heal. So we're gonna do this. We should be able to kill him in 2 hits if the Highwayman hits. Of course not. Why would he? And here, just kill him, but he's going to leave a corpse, so we're still going to be useless. So these guys are going to have to basically mark themselves and battle heal. That's what each one of them will do. Alright, there we go. And since we are in the last room, we don't have to go crazy on the heals. But see, they're unable to hit here. So since he can battle heal, and then he'll just have to mark and take the damage. And it'll be up to these two to kill them. Okay. All right.
Seize this momentum.
Not great,
To the
but
task's end.
He's gonna have to go on like a 4-week vacation. The amount of stress he has. Got a little bit off of him. Early in the game, it's just going to take forever. He may just get dismissed because he has too much stress. I was hoping that would cut a little more off, but it's okay.
More bones returned.
So we did get our survival guide, which is important. Okay, what do we get? No, that's not very good. Slugger isn't bad. That could be really good on a melee-only character, but slow draw's pretty bad.
Though long years may seek to separate them.
Okay, so the courtyard quest is available now.
Will invariably have their dreadful reunion.
Rue is experiencing double vision after a long night of drinking. Oh. Minus 10 accuracy. Well, worthless. Glad we spent the money, because now basically worthless. Oh. Yeah. Yep. I don't know how long that lasts, though. We may be able to keep her. Okay, so we have 4 characters now. So let's increase our roster size. So now we're up to 13, so we can take everybody. We've got a grave robber, which is awesome. We got an occultist, which is a healer, as long as they have. Yep, they have weird reconstruction. We got a healer, but they only have divine grace. They don't have divine comfort. That's okay. Let's see if we got any good quirks. No, not really. On guard. That's pretty good. Pretty good, especially for a healer. That can be very useful. Spiritual, divine grace, divine comfort. That makes her pair very well with the Vestal. So, not bad. Okay, so the next thing we're at 13 heroes. We can take 13 heroes rather. So, increasing the number of available heroes to 5 is going to be the next one. So let's look and see if we have anything else that we want to do. Okay, the blacksmith is open. The guild's open. So,
Make no mistake, we will face ever greater threats.
the first thing I'm going to do.
Must be ready.
Judgment is great to have. It's probably one of the most important skills in the game. But divine comfort early on is better. I wish she had judgment, but... Okay. Alright, so we got a little bit better there. So now we have a survival guide. That's going to go here with her. What does she have? Pick to the face, that's good. Lunge is good. Toxin Trickery, really not that great. Thrown Dagger is good. But she has the important ones. So we want to give her the survival guide, the scout chance. Alright, so with that, guys, it's been about 30 minutes. So I'll shut it down for this episode. A little longer. It's almost an hour, actually. So what I'm going to do is I'll plan on making another guide, or just continuing this series, rather. And watch for my update video. I'll give you an explanation on kind of what was going on. But thanks for watching. I really appreciate all your patience. I'll see you in, I guess it's week 3. Later.